Peace. I'm Dr. Delete, and you're watching Credit Healing. Peace, fam. Welcome back to another video with Credit Healing LLC. Today, we're going to talk about the basics of credit scores. Now, many of you who have been on the credit repair and credit healing journey with us, you know a little bit about credit scores, but today we're going to take a deeper look into everything and let you know exactly what credit scores are, how they work, and how to improve them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at one of our clients. This is actually a new client of ours, and we're going to help him get to around 800 based on what we see in his credit file and what we can do. And so we're going to help him, and I'm going to, within the next few months, show you an update as it relates to his credit scores. So let's take a look at his credit file. All right. So this is one of our clients. And so now his credit scores are fair. Fair is generally around a 600 to a 650 range. And so what we want to do is we want to actually increase it and improve it by doing various things. And so as you can see, now I do want to mention this as well before we even get started. There are those who may pull your credit and you may see, let's say for instance, you go to myfico.com or another agency, another company, and you'll say, well, my scores are different than the scores that I see on this particular platform. The reason why is because there are different models out there. There are different things that will determine what your credit scores are depending on what the credit monitoring service is looking at. And so I want to just let you know that that's the reason why. Okay. Now, but what's most important is the credit rating. Okay. And so if you see here where it says fair, that's going to pretty much be across the board. So regardless of what credit monitoring service you're using, it's going to show as fair across most of that, all of them. Now, we recommend our own credit monitoring service, and that's in the link in the description below, because they provide such a very just an excellent suite of information and knowledge about credit, as well as they provide other things such as utilities, so you can add utilities to your credit report. So look in the link in the description below and you'll be able to see that there. All right, so in regards to this particular person's credit, we see that he has a 631, that he has a 639, as well as a 634. Okay. Now, this is not necessarily something that is going to get him approved for anything, because most times he will be denied unless if he does get approved, he's going to have high interest that is going to come along with that. So what we want to do is we want to work on his credit and improve it. Therefore, he can get approved for more things, and therefore he'll be able to build his credit. So this isn't necessarily good, it's fair, but we want to improve it. All right, so now let's take a look at the items inside of his credit profile. All right, so as you can see here, these are the risk factors. Okay. Now with TransUnion, it says here that it says the date that you open your oldest account is too recent. So what that means is if an account is really under, or if the oldest account is under 3 years, then it makes the credit profile look weak. So you want to basically strengthen that, and that's by opening up, starting off by getting secure credit cards. So if you have secure credit cards already, that's good. Keep paying them over a period of time, and that's going to strengthen your credit file and your credit profile, and that's going to also help increase your credit scores. So that's something that you can't really change as it relates to the oldest items, because when you open up an account, best thing for us to recommend that you do is to keep it open. Okay, don't close credit card accounts for no reason, because what's going to happen is when those accounts go from open to close, it's going to basically weaken your credit file and basically cause you to be high risk, what many lenders will see. So keep it open, keep paying those credit cards over a period of time, and this is going to help you be able to increase your credit scores. Okay. So the second thing for TransUnion is the balances on your accounts are too high compared to loan amounts. Now, what this means, we're going to take a look at this. So what this particular aspect of his credit score rating means is that for his revolving accounts as well as his loan accounts, but in this instance, it's the revolving accounts because this is what they look at. So there's something that's called credit utilization, okay, or debt to credit ratio. Now, what happens is when it goes above really 30%, that's going to drop the scores down. It's not going to be too bad if it's below or if it's above 30%, but if it's above 50%, this is when the scores are going to drop drastically. So let's say, for instance, if a person has only one credit card and this credit card has a balance or a credit limit of $1,000, person will then spend $500 for this particular credit card. And what happens is the credit utilization will be 50% or one half of it. And so this is going to drop the scores down. Now, we recommend bringing it below 30%, preferably below 10%. Excuse my tie. My tie is just coming down as I'm moving. But when you bring it below 10%, then what's going to happen is it's going to increase your credit scores. Now, it's not going to damage your credit scores if your debt to credit ratio is higher. It's not going to actually affect it as though you're applying for new credit, because when you pay it down, what's going to happen is your scores are going to increase. Okay. And so we want to make sure that by the end of the month or the statement date that you pay those credit cards down below 30%, preferably below 10%. Therefore, you're not going to be considered high risk, particularly if you're trying to apply for something. Never apply for anything if you have a high credit utilization. You have to pay those credit cards down, and you pay it down. This is going to allow you to be able to be approved because they're going to see that you have the liquid assets or available money when you're applying, and yet you're not using your credit card, your credit cards to basically carry your bills. Okay. So make sure that you pay those things down. Loan amounts, obviously, you have to pay loan amounts over a period of time, but paying loan amounts and loans, this is going to actually strengthen your credit. So continue to pay those loans down. Try to pay them down to zero. I know that sometimes it takes longer, especially if you have a mortgage or a car loan, but just keep paying it over a period of time. And this is going to increase your credit scores. All right. This is the next thing. It says you have too many delinquent or derogatory accounts. Obviously, something that we help people with as well, which is removing their derogatory items regardless of what they are. So if you have bankruptcies, hard inquiries, late payments, medical bills, whatever it is, we can actually dispute them even if they're legitimate because we know how to leverage federal laws. So if you have any questions about removing certain derogatory items, basically reach out to us. Reach out to us at 225-733-6429. You can email us at credithealing@gmail.com or business@credithealing.org, or you can go to our website. That's www.credithealing.org. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the next one. So the next one says the total of your delinquent or derogatory account balances are too high. So basically, this means that when an account is charged off and it remains there, therefore it's going to have a high balance. And so when this happens, it's going to reflect negatively on your credit file. And so the best thing for you to do is to reach out to us and allow us to be able to give you a full credit evaluation and let you know what the game plan should be as relates to these charge off accounts, because we know what to do. And if you don't have the expert guidance and you make a move or decision, this can actually negatively impact your scores, although you may think that it's going to positively impact your scores. Okay. And so we're not going to go over Experian because pretty much Experian is saying the same exact thing as TransUnion. But essentially, this is what we're looking at right now. Okay. So we're going to just scroll down. You can't see any of this client's information because you don't know who this client is. So don't worry about security because trust me, we take care of that part. Now, as you can see here that this client has 30 total accounts. Okay. 30 and 31 for Equifax. We're going to just scroll in just a tad bit so you can see it just in case if it wasn't available before, but if you can see it, great. So he has 30 total accounts and 23 of them are open. 22 to 23 of them are open. That's good. That means he has a strong credit profile. But what is happening is that he has negative items that are lowering his scores as well as high balances, as we have discussed earlier. Okay. Now, here he has 7 closed accounts. Now, depending on the nature of the closed accounts, this can be good or bad because if he paid it off before reaching out to us to zero balance, and then he closed it, then and there was a charge off account already, then it's not going to necessarily impact his credit scores negatively. But if it was an open account, let's say for instance, if he was already paying on that particular account and then he just decided to close it, then that can actually impact his scores negatively, lower his scores. Okay, so here we'll see that we see that he has 7 closed accounts, 8 there, 8 there, and we'll take a look at it more in depth on our side. But we want to let you know that you should not close accounts just because. Make sure to consult with us, and we'll be able to help you understand what you should close if you should close it. Now here he only has 1 delinquent account. Now sometimes the system registers some accounts as delinquent when they are delinquent, but other accounts may be considered delinquent when in fact they aren't. But in this instance, yes. So he has 1 delinquent account, which is not bad, but there's certain aspects of his credit that we need to address so we can have a proper game plan, have a financial assessment, and be able to help him be able to get certain things in order so we can increase his credit scores. So we're going to just scroll down, see positive accounts, right? Positive accounts. So now this is a client who we have actually helped in the past, and we've actually helped them get to a 7 on a 760, 770. And so we were able to bring him from around a 585-ish. This was a few years ago, 585-ish to around 760. And we educated him as well. Now he had some recent derogatory items that just appeared on his credit file. And so as we can see here, and we need to get these late payments removed as well. This is what I was saying earlier in regards to some items being delinquent, but not necessarily showing as a delinquent account. But this is one of them. And so what we were able to do is increase the scores from around around 585. One was like around 550, and then we got a scores around a 760. And so now he has had other items, and we made sure to educate him to make sure that that wouldn't happen again. But sometimes life happens. Okay, and so what we're going to do here is we're going to dispute and remove these late payments so we can address these. And again, this is 150-day late. So we need to address that as well. It was closed, right, as you can see here, but it needs to be removed because it's lowering his scores. And so he's been doing a really great job in terms of making his payments on time, over time, and this is why his scores aren't in the 500s. However, these accounts that are definitely recent, these recent late payments, these are actually negatively impacting his scores, and so we need to address them accordingly. So in another video that we're going to make, we're going to delve more in depth as relates to the specifics, right? So we're going to go through the account type, such as this, the account type details, etc., to help you understand what a credit report is, as well as how it impacts your scores. But for this particular tutorial, we're just giving you the basics of a credit report as it relates to your credit file. All right, family. So it's been a pleasure speaking with you. We are blessed to be able to talk to you as well as discuss credit with you and as well as help you. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at credithealing@gmail.com. And if you're ready to get started, go to www.credithealing.org. Peace. Mail, when I send it off, I'm going to show you the receipt that comes with it, which is the 4th step. So bear with me, family, and stay tuned, and I'll show you exactly what to do.